Yeah, so digital trends during COVID-19, and the key thing to take from this presentation, and a lot of the stats we're going to share now, is start thinking about yourselves as freelancers, business owners, and how these trends are adapting and how consumers are changing, and what does this mean for your digital marketing strategy and how you should adapt it. So it's only a few slides, probably take a minute each slide. So the first one to kind of give you an idea. So the global digital growth. So we're looking at the entire world right now because the entire world was affected by COVID-19 as a pandemic. What we've seen is some key trends, and the four notable ones to point out is that total population online has grown by 82 million. That's a 1% increase from this time last year. But more notably, the amount of people in terms of being internet users and being active in social has been over 300 million each. So you've got a 7% and nearly a 9% increase in social users online. We've seen that in terms of typical trends, in terms of work we're doing, where across key social channels like Facebook, where the cost per click has come down. Everybody's home, everybody's bored, some people on furlough, and they're spending more time online, spending more time using mobile devices, and overall, they're spending more time on social media. What we've noticed as a key trend and what's come out is that since COVID-19 began or lockdown began, there's been a significant jump in connected devices. Global Web Index has reported that overall, the world is spending more time on digital devices. More importantly, mobile phones has been the key channel as a result of that. So a 76% increase. So that's not a 76% increase from year on year. That's just a 76% increase since lockdown started. So that's a significant amount of people using more mobile devices just in the last 2 to 3 months alone. So if you are doing online advertising, make sure that you're adapting your creative and your video formats for mobile devices. Don't just consider to create a standard format and just push it and it'll be on desktop. As more people working from home, laptop and desktop usage has actually increased, obviously, since lockdown by 45-32% recently. What's been really interesting is that wider channels like people using smart watches or games consoles has been on the increase, and we'll come on to games consoles in terms of a trend more in a few slides to see how that's been affected and what an opportunity that is for people right now from a video point of view. In terms of the data we're looking at, in terms of more than 76% of the internet users right now are age 16 to 64. So if you're, like I said, freelancer, business development, more often than not that your target audience is within that range. So what have people been doing now when they're spending more time on devices? What's that kind of split? So it's good to see how that affects by demographic, because some of the clients we work on focus more on female demographics, some clients we work on are more male, especially if it's like fitness or if you're in the B2C market. What we've seen that actually in certain instances like PC, desktop computers, there's been a more of an increase in terms of male demographics using that platform. So if you're having to adapt your strategy by different genders and different demographics, this is a good slide to look at. And same with games consoles, more males, but look, a 13% increase in female gamers during lockdown is actually a significant increase in a new market for that industry. But overall, it's actually 4 in 5 women have said that they report an increase in mobile use compared to pre-lockdown. So, again, 76% of 16 to 64-year-olds are spending more time on a smart mobile phone. So we're all using our mobile phones to use social media, to do searches online, to access the internet, and to communicate with friends and family. So these devices are great insights to understand how the digital marketing trends are changing online. In terms of types of activities people are doing online, especially since COVID-19, a 57% increase in streaming. Disney Plus reported that they hit their 3-year target within the first 3 months. So the target they want to achieve in terms of getting amount of users and subscribers on their platform, they actually achieved in 3 months. So they were kind of benefited by COVID-19. Netflix has seen a significant rise in users because more people are turning to video and video consumption, and we'll get into that in future slides. We're seeing more time spending more time on mobile apps, more time on messenger services, a 46% increase. That's significant. So it's something that we did as an example on our website. We introduced a messenger bot. So if you're a business and you want to communicate through messenger, start looking at ways you can adapt and introduce these kind of apps within your website and within your mobile website, tools to engage conversation with potential customers that might want to get into contact with your services. More people are streaming music and listening to podcasts. I think the biggest news to come out during COVID-19 and what affected Spotify is the Joe Rogan deal that they announced, which means all his podcasts will be through Spotify. And he's the biggest podcaster in the world right now. So it kind of shows you how influential podcasts are. So if you've got some free time now during lockdown and you've got access to a mobile phone, you've got access to video, and you're an expert in your field, you should be sharing, trying to look into elements like podcasting. So obviously, I know Darren mentioned he obviously is looking at a way to digitize his business. So here's an example of, the increase in activities people are doing. So something for you to consider is maybe introduce podcasts and actually talk about what you're doing. And these don't have to be 30, 15-minute longs. They can be short, 5-10 minutes that provide value. And something we're considering is turning this talk into a bit of a podcast as well, because it's only 10, 15 minutes. So that's how you can adapt to kind of get yourselves out there. But try and focus on what I say is providing value to your consumer so that they have a reason to listen to that podcast. One of the things that are going to happen is a lot of people say they're going to expect to see their new habits continue post COVID-19. What we know is that 1 in 5 internet users expect to continue watching more content through streaming services. 1 in 7 continue spending more time using social media. But the survey from Global Webinars kind of showed that more people are gaming on classic and smartphone platforms and in apps. So it's an opportunity for you to use in-app advertising, in-game advertising as a potential platform to deliver your message where your potential consumers are. However, something to work having that these new habits, we think there's a good chance that activity levels will return, because now more than ever, we're in a new pandemic, we're in a new way, everyone's adapting, everyone's got more time and exploring new things. But how will that change when people go back to work, to start socializing with friends, to start going back and traveling and exploring? Will that go back to new normal? We think some habits will continue, but there's a good chance that activities will, quickly return to pre-lockdown levels. But again, it's not an exact science. These are just the trends. The trends from beginning of lockdown to end of lockdown have changed significantly. So that's why we do these talks, to see how things are changing and what impact it's having in. Because the more on top of you are of the trends that's happening, the better you can be reactive in terms of your digital marketing. Social media has surged significantly. One of the clearest trends in recent weeks is the dramatic increase of, social platforms. TikTok announcing that, they've got over 1 billion active users monthly. Even if I just say a show of hands, how many people are on TikTok? I'm not seeing many hands apart from maybe myself. If you want to see how video and video consumption is adapting, just get a TikTok account created and just see how the younger generation in particular are adapting to video, and video is moving in terms of how people consume that and the type of content they want to see. And we'll show you some examples shortly. Again, not surprising that, a lot of people are struggling with social isolation, so they're reaching out to social platforms to get entertainment, to get content, to communicate with friends, family, and the outside world. But will this change as we come out of lockdown? Most likely. What we know is that 40% of internet users worldwide say they're spending longer time on social media, but half of that have been spending significantly more time on social media. And that's visible with some of the results we've seen as an agency in terms of the cost per leads coming down for businesses, the cost per clicks coming down for businesses across key channels like Facebook and Instagram, etc. So as social media surges, here's some stats to see. So the total number of active media users worldwide is 3.81 billion. That's an annual growth of nearly 9%, so over 300 million, as we mentioned earlier. But here's the key stat, and this is why mobile's key. 99% of people that are using social media are accessing it via mobile. So if you think that we're not actually logging in to Facebook on our desktop platforms, we're actually logging in via the app and through mobile. Same with LinkedIn, same with Twitter, same with TikTok, same with Snapchat, etc. So if you are thinking of adapting social media, you really need to adapt for the mobile platform, because that's the screen size in which you've got to deliver your content. We're delivering a presentation, it's full screen, most of you on your laptops, great. Some of you on your tablets, great. But just consider your consumers are consuming that content in a small 3-inch screen in the palm of their hands. How are you going to get their attention? So the total number of social media users worldwide on phones is 3.76 billion. That's nearly half the population of the world. So, 90% of global internet users we know are 16 to 64, but a lot of them are consuming video. And if video is not part of your long-term strategy, then you're missing out big time. And the reason for that is, if you look at the stat, 90% of those consumers since COVID-19 have been watching online video content. And there's a reason for that, because people don't want to see images, they don't want to read text. If they want to do that, they'll go onto blogs. If they want to get more detailed information, they'll listen to podcasts. They're watching vlogs, 51% increase. Streaming services, especially like podcasts, where there's been a 42% increase recently. So that's where the trends are happening in terms of online content activities. But what are the types of content that consumers actually want? So here are 10 key elements. And again, obviously we'll share this presentation to everyone via a link so you have these details. But if you see the split by male, female, people want more films, movies, more videos and memes, and that's why TikTok is on the rise. So when I say set up a TikTok account, you'll see the type of videos that are happening. You're seeing people stream esports, and again, TikTok's been a big platform for that. So people streaming their gaming so people can get tips, and that's seen a big rise since COVID-19, as more people are gaming online and trying to find ways to communicate online. How-to tutorial videos. I mean, I've heard this before because I was thinking of doing a Teams meeting. I was like, how do I put a background on Teams meeting? Little elements like that, and watching videos of how to do things whilst people are at home to adapt and make things more impactful from, how they communicate. And then just, people want blogs from bloggers, live stream sports stars, because you've seen a lot of celebrities recently live stream their music, live stream concerts, live stream comedy gigs, etc. We've seen, the Lord of the Rings cast do a reunion. We've seen other TV shows do reunions, and these are the type of content people are kind of wanting right now. So a lot of it is video based, a lot of it is tutorial based. But look, if you can see people wanting tutorial videos, then what are you doing as a business? I know Ben from NetPoint, are you using tutorial videos to show people how to use Zoom, how to use Teams, and how to incorporate video within your home workspace? These are the types of content and ideas you can come up with to kind of share with your potential customers. So as we know, video content is on the rise. In the UK specifically, 8% of consumers are saying they're consuming more content through broadcast TV, online videos, and TV streaming. And that is the biggest form of increased media consumption we've seen. Predictably, a lot of that are the younger generation consuming more content across YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And live streams and podcasts make up 30% and 20%, and are more popular among millennials in terms of an audience group compared to others. I know Alan said he talked about how they do Google Shopping. So this is, if you saw, this is a great stat that 40% of internet users say they'll be shopping online more frequently post-outbreak. So over the last couple of months, we've become more reliant in terms of shopping online. We've been forced to find new ways to get the products we need in terms of foods, clothing, technical, digital activities online. But what does it matter? It means that as you look ahead, there'll be less people wanting to go into retail. Digital will be the space in which you'll have to advertise your consumer-based products to get in front of them, like Google Shopping, like video through social media. So if we know 43% of internet users saying they'll be shopping more online frequently, then you need to adapt your strategy to make sure you're pushing your consumer-based products online. Here's some of the actual shopping behaviors post-outbreak that we've highlighted that are key, saying that they'll be buying more things online for home delivery. They'll be visiting stores less frequently, spending less time in stores, spending more time researching online before they buy things. So that's where reviews come into place from an SEO point of view. Then you want to buy more things online for in-store collection, and they'll probably make more time for self-checkout. Interestingly, 71% of baby boomers, which is almost like the next generation, say free delivery is a top purchase driver for them. So if you're targeting a younger demographic, you want to make sure that if you are delivering your products online, especially if you're B2C focused, then free delivery is something that entices a lot of people, which is why Amazon has been doing so well right now, and they've seen a significant increase in Amazon Prime memberships over the last 2.5 months. The key takeaway, like I said, the key takeaway from this is that the online landscape has changed. There's a good chance it will normalize, but certain habits and media consumption will be long-term here to stay. The key question to anyone on this event needs to ask themselves is, how can we adapt our digital strategy in line with these trends? So if you're a business, if you're a director, a business development manager, if you're a freelancer, based on these trends that are here for short term, some long term, how are you going to adapt your digital strategy in line with this? So that brings the end of our short bite-sized presentation. I'll just come out so I can see if there's any questions that people put in the chat, or open it up for any questions that anyone has. So I'll unmute all. How do I unmute everyone? I'm just going to see how to do that. Sorry, I'm still learning Zoom like everybody else. So yeah, if you have a question, feel free to unmute yourself and ask it away. Nick?
Yeah, you talk about TikTok, and obviously that is a very young demographic. How does digital marketing relate to TikTok? I don't quite get the marketing opportunities of TikTok. Could you explain that? TikTok
was predominantly a younger generation, but since lockdown, a lot of older millennials have actually adapted to the platform. When you've got over 1 billion active users worldwide, then you can think that not all of them are just young generation. So it does open up the platform. Right now, in terms of TikTok, when you're advertising in platform, the first ad, as you open the platform, you get an ad straight away, and then it appears in feed. For businesses, it's an opportunity right now to either drive, if you're within certain industries like gaming, if your industries that are obviously like e-commerce, where you want to sell certain types of products, gadgets, it's quite effective, especially if they can be used and utilized in terms of the way people use their actual devices at home. You can use it from a branding point of view to kind of keep front of mind. I would say it is harder for smaller businesses right now, but again, it's where Snapchat was around about 3-4 years ago, in terms of it is more for the larger organizations right now. But one thing to kind of take from it is a lot of these companies have their own profiles that people follow. So have a look at the type of content they're sharing on there. So you don't have to do ads on TikTok. You can create your own content in terms of short videos, create a following, and then you can create links from that to your Instagram pages, Facebook pages, LinkedIn pages, and even drive people to your website from that point of view. So it's an opportunity to take care, because generations will move, and if your product hits a certain generation, that generation will get older, and then the new generation will come into that age bracket. So you kind of want to pre-plan ahead. Are there any questions, Charlotte? Go ahead.
It was a question just to add to that. I don't know if anyone is connected with Limelight HR, but it's actually an old friend of mine, and she's been doing TikTok throughout lockdown. Some of them have just been ones she shared privately with friends, but she does a daily one, and quite a lot of them are business focused as well, and they're absolutely hilarious. But she's found a way. I mean, she's just a one-man band, but she's found a way to really utilize the platform and make it relevant to her business as well. And she's got some really engaging content, so worth checking out if you don't follow her. And it's a good example of how you can use it even if you're a small business.
Thanks, Charlotte. Great example of how you can do it as a young business. I think from a content and creating organic content point of view, it's great. Obviously, from a paid point of view, it's going to be difficult for local business because the budget really isn't there, and it can be better utilised on other channels. Are there any other questions on some of those digital trends? Let me see. Anyone just raise a hand? All right, I'll share the presentation. We've recorded this talk, so if you want to listen back, that'll be uploaded to our website. I'll just quickly share presentation again. Just a little bit of notes. So our next event is on the 24th, and we're talking about how video content is driving business growth online. One of the key trends obviously we've seen is video. A lot of questions we're getting about is, you know, and came from Nick in terms of how can you use stuff like video platforms like TikTok to you know, promote your businesses. So we'll talk a lot about that in a bit more detail, specifically on the 24th. That event is live, but we'll have that posted on our website shortly as a link, and we'll send it out to everyone with a link to the presentation following this. If anyone has any questions about digital marketing and wants a free strategy, feel free to reach out to us, visit our website. If you want to look at some of our old Bubble Bitesize live events and some of the talks, they're all on our website. So go to bubbledigital.com/Bubble Bitesize. This was the first event, a lot learned in terms of formats and setting it up, especially in terms of getting the URL link out to everyone instead of an image. Sorry about that. So yeah, it's 3 minutes past 12. Don't want to keep everyone from their lunch. So thank you everyone for joining. I'll share everyone's details out by an email shortly. I hope you all have a great week, and hopefully some of you can make it on the 24th.
Yeah.
Thanks, Manny.
Yeah.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks, Manny.
Thanks a lot, Manfred. Thank you.